My grandmother rioted, confronted the pastor. They put her out of the church. I mean, it's just crazy. This is my heritage. But I never realized how much I carried. And when I began to ask the Lord, show me my blind spots, it was the N-word that started popping up, and I realized how ingrained it was into my vocabulary. Now, there's a game that people play, kids play, where they run up to a door, knock on it or ring the doorbell, and run away. We used to call that nigger knocking. And I was somewhere and I heard a guy say, we're going to go play ding dong ditch. I said, what is ding dong ditch? He said, well, you ring the doorbell and you run away. I said, oh, nigger knocking? He said, what? I was just playing. Ding dong ditch is good. That's the one. That's the right one. But let me tell you, when you live in a circle where everybody around you, you don't even realize what you're saying. You're saying stuff and you don't know. You didn't even realize. And then when you say, oh my God, what a horrible thing to say. But it was environmentally deposited. Nobody ever told me these words, but for some reason they were just prevalent in my thinking. This is interesting. When white people in my world would confront another white person, very interesting thing. I said, where were you, man? I almost got in a fight at the red light. What happened? Some old boy said something, he hopped out of his truck. And listen to me now. There's a thing that people carry around in their cars, they call it like a billy club. Right. But where I was growing up, that was a nigger stick. I had my nigger stick with me. And again, when that's your whole world. Now remember, the guy told me, you'll always be better than a black man. I said, no way. But yet I carried this unrealized, unknown thing around with me. Had no idea that it even existed. One of the worst ones. One of the worst things, and I didn't realize it till I was little, or till I was grown. I started smoking at 10 years old. And there is a prejudice based on, like we said, supposed characteristics of black people among white people about their lips being big. And you don't even realize you carry this stuff. And I never smoked before, but I remember smoking, and some 16-year-old gave me a cigarette, and I smoked it. And I got the back of the cigarette wet. Now, any of you who are professional smokers, you never get it wet. It's always, it's dry. And the worst thing to ever share a cigarette, some of you, that's saliva all over it, the blood of Jesus. And this guy said to me, and again, nobody ever said, hate black people. But I gave him the cigarette back, and this is the most horrible thing you could say. But I didn't realize it at the time. He said, man, you nigger lit my cigarette. I said, I did what? You got the thing all wet. And I just walked through life from now on. Gave someone a cigarette. I said, man, don't nigger lit my cigarette. And it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta that I was like, oh my God. What was I thinking? Oh my God. But if a tree falls and there's nobody there to hear it, amongst my white ears, operating in ignorance, based on supposition, a residual environment from parents who went through the civil rights movement, by grandparents. Listen to me. The history of the word nigger it just means black. Negro, Niger, Negron, it's just black. It comes from French. And if you go back to before 1800, it was everywhere. And nobody was offended by it. No, it didn't bother anybody. It just means black. You even look in the Bible, there's a man named Niger. N-I-G-E-R. And all it means is black. He was just a black guy. It's like in the hood now, well, I didn't even know this, but when I went to Atlanta, they called really dark-skinned people blue. I thought, what are you talking about blue? And my pastor was like, he's not black, he's blue. I said, no, he's black. No. And there's even division that exists if you're a light-skinned black person versus a dark-skinned black person. See, white people, if all you've ever been in is your world, you think it's black and white. But even you get over on that side, and you're 3 shades darker than somebody else, even among that, there's a discrimination there. See, I got my elephant out now. We're going to deal with some stuff.